Welcome to the bold analysis. Otiende Amolo response to the Gladys-Wanga camp, who are plotting to remove Edwin Sifuna as the Secretary General of the party, is a message that if you listen to it keenly, it is probably the secret that can save the ODM party in 2027. And in this podcast, I'm going to look at exactly that. You're going to look at the terrain of ODM, the ODM party standing after the by-election wins, and what exactly is happening there. But before that, I am humbly requesting you to take a minute to partner with us so that we can complete building a house for Mama Zawadi, a widow of 6 children in Kilifi County. This is Mama Zawadi's case. It was brought to my attention last year when I was in Kilifi here to build a house for some 2 disabled brothers. And by the time this first came, she was actually in the street, and we normally don't do many. We cannot do more than 2 projects at a time. So what I made plans, and her case was she was in the street because bwanake alikufa, some the other side of Shakahola, and after the husband died, she was chased from that place. Of course, people are scrambling for shamba so, and now she retreated to the streets with the 6 children. So I made plans, akarudishwe mahali alizaliwa kwao, where a structure was put up for her. So last week, when they reached out, I came here with the whole team, and I indeed found out that she was in a big mess. Amepitia changamoto sana. This is the house that Mama Zawadi lives.
Maana nimeona mkaika hii.
Mkaika hii karatasi kwa sababu ya hao watoto wasimisha.
Hao watoto wadogo. Changamoto nyingine labda ipo kwa hii nyumba vile ipo.
Changamoto ni hiyo makuti, sababu ya makuti. Ndio sina nafasi sina fedha ya kununua makuti
Na hawa watoto, it's in a very bad state. Now, after engagement with the people around, we've established that tukiweza kumjengea nyumba for now, apate mahali atakaa ataishi na hawa watoto, first tutakuwa tumemestablish. Then from that point, we look at an economic activity anaweza fanya, because generally alikuwa anagonga hizi mawe. But we can even support her ka small token, anze ka biashara kadogo to provide for the children. So ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm here. And as I told you this weekend, we are heavy lifting for the roofing. I have a deficit of 23,000. And I want to believe, I'm shooting this video by tomorrow, because I wanted us to do the roofing tomorrow, on Tuesday to work Dirisha and the finishing, so that we can finish the project. That is what is pending, and you can give, you can donate any amount. As of the time I was shooting already to share Maliza, we are finishing the wall, and they are wanakoroga the linton. So after they're done with that, tomorrow we are supposed to do the roofing. Inafaa ifanywe siku moja. So that's why I'm reaching out to you. Thank you for those who had promised Kevin I'm going to reach out. You can still reach out, and I want to believe that we will be able to pull this through and achieve it. Find it in your place to support this. I want us to listen to Otiende Amolo. And Otiende Amolo is sending a warning. By the way, for those who are not understanding the Luo, what he has said in English is what he has translated. What he has said in the Luo is what he has translated in English.
Is in many places. Some of you have been wondering why I have not spoken lately. I've chosen not to speak because we are at a very difficult time. First, we just lost our leader, Raila Amolo Odinga. and no one anticipated it, and it came as a surprise. And after losing him, there are all sorts of things that are going on. All sorts of people are speaking. People who even Raila never spoke to are saying, Raila told me this in private. Raila told me this. The only thing that you can believe is what Raila spoke in public, not what somebody came and said he told me in my ears. And the only thing Raila said is that we will be in this government up to 2027. Beyond 2027, it is us who are still alive to determine. Hello? Nobody can come and tell us that Raila said beyond 2027, we are still with Ruto. No. We can or we cannot be. Olorego depend. Awach kozuki kawachi. Okuche ni ya serikali molowa. One di cabinet secretary zadi. Okuche ni gaboro. One di principal secretaries. Mo include nyaka wodo kelaka angwe. Okuche ni gapar gario. Be winjo ka giwoyo. Tukora ngomi wan makoro doa. Pere. Kawa di ni wan wakoro wacho ni koro wan kanyo. Inge ni koro wa reduce our value. Nyaka wachungi chama. Anka Otiende Kamolu unge ni ane vice chair. Mar the ODM party. Mondo wadhi kacha. Nyaka luongi iwinjo. Kidwa bet gi value. Neno kaka Bishop Emily olungo bishops. Iluongi. Okichop nini sechop. Na iye to kada ngamo luongi onge. Kise iye kori ngini value ni otimre nade. Okuche ka nigi gik mang'eny mohewa to gidagi wuoyini. Mondo wan bende nyaka luongwa mondo gik mang'eny magin go ka otimno anade omiwa. Eka wanyalo neno kaka wawuoyo. Uwinja koso kuwinja. Uyiye koso kuyiye. Ok ni wadagi. En mana ni wane kanisa dadi wacho wach moro kanyo. Adwa wacho wach moro kanyo. Awach koso kika wach. Ini bukre ni yie to kata ngamu penji betimre nadi onge. No. Nyaka wawinjre nikech wan gi party maduong' mogik ma kawadhi kacha to wawinjre ni kawabiro timiyo magi jogi omi nyaka deputy president to koda backyard ne mondo ng'ato yier en alweny. Koro wando dang' wayie nade ni hello. Abro wacho moko bani. Aparo ni gima mondo wati.
Now, this argument has been here for quite some time, and is not the first person to talk about it. In this podcast, I did an analysis about ODM leaders who went silent. And that is what is actually addressing there, that has been silent. You cannot take him lightly for these three reasons. He's not your ordinary politician within the ODM party. Otiende Amolo is the vice chair of the party. He is Wanga's deputy. So in terms of party leadership, he's also talking from a leadership point of view. The second aspect of Otiende Amolo is that he's a distinguished lawyer. So while people might interpret political happenings on the basis of the politics of the moment, but he also interprets it based on what the law says. So we are not shocked to see him being firm on his position. And also, I understand is a very close ally of Mama Ida. Very close ally of Mama Ida. Otiende Amolo is addressing a pertinent issue here. His language of Raila told me this, Raila told me that, is what Sifuna has always said. That iyo kituliambiwa kwa kona iyo ni yako. What we can believe is what Raila told all of us. Do you know what? I'm a bit shocked that there is a faction within the party that has singled out Edwin Sifuna to remove him as the Secretary General of the party. And one of the accusations is that apart from not supporting broad-based agenda, ODM party lost Kariobangi North, and he is the most influential leader from Nairobi. And ODM feels that he is a liability as far as that Nairobi influence is concerned. But I will want to, and the Sifuna plotters are thinking of replacing him with Ledama Olekina. And it's laughable. Ledama Olekina is a senator just like Sifuna. In his own county, Narok Town ward, ODM party lost to a DCP candidate. So if that is the accusation against Sifuna, how is then Ledama better? Simbarati is deputy party leader of ODM party, and their focal point from the Gusii land. ODM party lost in Nyamira, where even the senator is Omogeni is an ODM senator. ODM party lost in Nyamira. So if that is the basis, you'll actually agree with me that it is a lame basis. I understand Simbarati is already coalescing around Matiang'i's camp, since Matiang'i's candidature poses a serious threat to his re-election, being that Onyonka is firmly behind Matiang'i. And if Matiang'i's candidature is to solidify Kisii vote, then Arati will be under serious threat from Onyonka. And if you check his Facebook page, even since these by-elections happened, he's the one leader who has not commented or even congratulated some of those who won. ODM must tread very careful. And this aspect of broad-based, so if you're not broad-based, you need to be removed, you didn't campaign, I think it is failing to redefine the dynamics of those 22 by-elections. In Narok Town, let's go to Turkana. ODM governor, the current sitting governor for Turkana, Jeremiah Lomorokai, is an ODM governor. The ODM governor publicly campaigned for UDA MCA, and that UDA MCA won. Now, why is he not being kicked? I think politics are dynamic, very dynamic. And the earlier people realize that, the better. Did you realize that Mama Ida personally received Babu Owino in Bondo? Despite of Babu Owino denouncing broad-based, Babu Owino challenging Oburu-Wanga for the crown, for the party crown. So it is not what probably captured the papers. And at this point, the party must find it right. They're trying to impose broad-based on the ODM wins is a political blunder. And I don't agree with Oburu-Wanga here, saying that broad-based is there. That is why UDA won, and that is why ODM won in those posts.
Mimi ni ndugu ya ameenda Raila Amolo Odinga, ambaye alikuwa kiongozi yenu kwa muda mrefu na mlifanya naye kazi pamoja. Lakini kwa nini ya Mungu ameenda. Lakini vile ameenda, ametuacha ndani ya serikali ya broad-based government. Tunaendelea na hiyo na tutaendelea kufanya kazi pamoja na rais mpaka mwisho. Mpaka mwisho. Mnajua mwisho ya term in 2027, lakini vile tunaenda mtaona tu vile kila kitu itaingia. Tutaenda pamoja, tuko pamoja na tunaombea rais Mungu. Na mimi pia ningependa kuwarudishia wale watu wetu wa UDA na vijana wetu wa ODM ambayo wametufanya kazi na tumefiaka. Hao watu walikuwa wanasema hatuwezi, ati hakuna broad based. Hakuna broad based vipi? Na broad based imefiaka na imenyakua viti vyote ya ubunge ambayo tulikuwa tuna contest. Sasa kama haiko namna gani? Basi tuandae, basi huko mbele tutaona. Huko mbele tutaonana na Mungu pia atatubariki.
Completely. I don't agree with Nyatikich on this. And I want to say it is because, look at the dynamics. I don't think the voter in Bere was told about broad-based and he voted for Mudhende because of broad-based. The dynamic in Bere was Kindiki given state resources and all the money and pouring to the people, and even to the extent of rigging that poll so that they prove a point against Rigade. I don't think someone voted in Bere because Raila had a handshake with William Ruto. Not exactly. Look at Kasipul. Kasipul by-election was triggered by killing of the local member of parliament, Bruce murder of a local member of parliament, Ongondowere. What I'm saying here is very clear, that if you went to Aroko, who was vying against Boyd, he was not opposing broad-based. To say that people chose broad-based, no. The ODM by-elections were generally framed on Raila legacy, Raila memorial, and voters were emotionally sympathizing with anyone who's putting on an ODM shirt. So the whole thing about it is misplaced. And I think they're making some big blunder. I have seen Wanga now threatening to eject Oyugi Magwanga because Oyugi Magwanga campaigned for Aroko.
We are not conmen.
Nyuzi joto za kisiasa zinaendelea kupanda katika kaunti ya Homa Bay, huku uhusiano mgumu baina ya gavana Gladys Wanga na naibu wake Oyugi Magwanga ukiendelea kudhihirika licha ya uchaguzi mdogo kaunti hiyo kudhibitisha ushawishi wa chama cha ODM eneo hilo kwenye uchaguzi wa Alhamisi. Gavana Wanga, ambaye naibu wake alimpigia debe mgombea Philip Aroko kwenye uchaguzi huo, amemrushia vijembe kwa kudai kumpigia debe mgombea tofauti ilitumika kama njama ya kutaka kumng'atua madarakani. Ila sasa, gavana huyo ametoa kucha zake na kuweka hisia zake hadharani, akiamuru asiyeridhishwa na uongozi wake sharti ajiuzulu kutoka serikali hiyo.
The impeachment of Deputy Governor Magwanga in Homa Bay, not a priority just because he has got differing political opinions with Governor Wanga. And that if it's a question of his impeachment, it will have to be in line with the laid down grounds by law.
Wachanganuzi wa kisiasa wanasema kwamba uchaguzi mdogo wa Novemba 27 haukuwa tu mtihani kwa chama cha ODM kubaini umaarufu wake katika eneo hilo, bali pia iliweka kwenye ratili ushawishi wa gavana huyo, ikizingatiwa kwamba uongozi wake umepingwa wazi na naibu wake.
If it's a question of punishing him, it's incumbent upon ODM to punish him for going against the party line. But given the fact that they are not working in harmony with Governor Gladys Wanga, if at all Deputy Governor Magwanga absconds duty, fails to deliver, and violates the law via the Constitution and the County Government Act, then the County Assembly will move swiftly to impeach him because already the political ground and temperature are working against him.
Na huku mahusiano baina ya gavana Wanga na naibu wake Magwanga yakiendelea kuwa chungu na joto la kisiasa kaunti hiyo kuonekana kuchukua mkondo wa kaunti jirani ya Siaya ambayo mwaka jana ilishuhudia mvutano baina ya gavana James Orengo na naibu wake William Odour, kinachosubiriwa sasa ni kuona iwapo serikali ya Homa Bay itatatua mvutano huo kabla ya uchaguzi mkuu wa 2027 au hali hiyo itaathiri jinsi wakazi wa kaunti hiyo watapiga kura ifikapo wakati huo. Gloria Milimu, KTN.
And is a deputy. This is a blunder. Number one, I think Wanga is not right to say that alitafuta hiyo serikali peke yake. Why not for Raila Odinga convincing Magwanga to step down and deputize Wanga? That race was not easy. And if Magwanga would have supported Evans Odhiambo Kidero, it would have maybe have a different outcome. So I you know, I'm not a voter from Homa Bay, but I'm making this reference to how a deal had to be brokered between the two. Number two, I don't think the law of the land, you know, even if Nani has to be impeached, he has to be impeached based on law of the land. I feel Wanga will crush herself if she crafts some faulty impeachment motion against Oyugi Magwanga based on the fact that Oyugi Magwanga did not support Boyd Were. That is not going to be, and I know this is thriving in the fact that anaona because sasa Boyd ameshinda Kasipul and Magwanga comes from Kasipul, through that Boyd re-election, Wanga feels she has taken over Kasipul. But the politics, that is not how it is done. And I strongly feel that someone should whisper to her that wachana na hiyo story. Wachana na hiyo story kwa sababu these men will gang up against you. And it might not be an easy race for you even in 2027. I know this is the danger of trying to crown the by-elections as a broad-based win. That you know, it is broad-based. It is some false pretense. It is some blanket assumption that, to me, if analytically I am not seeing it, I'm seeing the dynamics that played out. The one that comes closer to broad-based is Ugonja. But I dare ask, apart from the ODM candidate, did DCP have a candidate in Ugonja? No. Yes, Wiper had a candidate, but I don't think the Wiper candidate was a threat to ODM. Even if that broad-based, ODM would have still won Ugonja. Now, this is the danger. An attempt to blackmail the voters by narrowing the choices. Because now you want to feel you're either in broad-based or you're the other side. They've known that Nyanza might be hostile for DCP and probably the Wiper Party and the others. But even within the Nyanza, democracy is going to thrive. Because hakuna mtu atainua mkono. Democracy is going to thrive. The comfort will clearly on riding on Ruto's influence, but it will not come with many benefits, as Otiende Amolo is saying there. ODM identity and strength risk waning if the by-election is anchored on that broader, broad-based thing and not people believing in the ODM party. It is the time for party to take its own pride and say, people believe. And even when you talk to the residents there, they don't mention broad-based, they mention ODM party, they mention Raila. So I think in the right context, this should be well defined.